Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Tasting Bothy. Good evening, Clark.
Good evening, Wally. How are you?
I'm not too bad, thanks very much.
Okay.
Just back from my holiday in France, which was fantastic,
Oh, vive la
where
France.
I managed to pick up a French single malt whisky from the Charentaise, which is where my brother lives, just north of Bordeaux. It's very much the cognac region, so
Aye.
I look forward to tasting this with you at some point in the future.
So do I. I'm I'm expecting this to be a space side then.
Well, anyway, this is what
Aye.
I found in my letterbox the other day. There are two of those little bottles with question marks on them. Now, I
Well, how
thought they had
wicked is
came
that?
from, yes, and I thought they had come from Cliff Mann. I'm just pouring it, Clark, just as we're chatting. So I
You go
thought they
then.
had come from Cliff Mann, who said to me, I'll drop a couple of drams off for you and Clark, and we'll do a blind tasting at
Great
some point.
idea.
So I thought that's where it came from, not until my brother-in-law, Gordi Crawford, who is running along the bottom of the screen, it's his fault for this, uh, texted me to say he had dropped a couple of drams in through the door. But he also has given me a little envelope. So here it is,
Oh, riddle me
sealed.
this, Batman.
I know it is a riddle me this, Batman. So sealed envelope, nothing else that I have to go on other than we were to taste this dram and tell them what we think about it. I'm presuming that inside this envelope we actually have.
A gift voucher for a whole bottle.
Well, that would be a better idea, but I think it might actually just be it might actually just be uh, the information as to what we're actually tasting. So I
Aye.
haven't a clue what age it is. I don't know where it's from or nothing. We've got nothing to go on, mate. So let's just have a wee nose at it and see if we can see where it's coming from. Oh well, that first nose is nice.
That
I
is
like that.
it's bloody hell. I like that too.
Peachy, very peachy. I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the drum.
That's very much. Yes, I see where you come from that. That's
Yeah,
right. Do you get peach smelling furniture polish? Because that would be it.
I don't know. Maybe that's as I said, that's the difference of our noses. I get it quite floral, Clark. It's quite floral, quite peachy for me. I think it's quite light and florally.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I see what you get, what you mean by that pledgy furniture polishy type.
Yeah, yeah, there's a wee bit of that too.
But again, I think that's that fragrancy.
So it's quite very sweet.
And there's a
It's
wee hint
nice.
of vanilla in there. Actually, my nose is itching.
Oh,
There's a wee hint of vanilla in there.
uh,
It's not
um,
giving anything away. It's actually it's quite layered, Clark, when
mhm,
you nose it. You
mhm,
start off with that peachy, appley freshness that you get, fragranty note, and then behind it you then get that kind of vanilla and
mhm.
light caramel nose from it as well. It's quite pleasant actually. I know I'm coughing. It's because I've got a bit of a cough. It's not the
Me
nosy.
too.
That, that's quite nice. I quite like that on the nose. It's pleasant on the nose.
It's quite unusual. Just, I can't. I'm not smelling this and thinking it smells like
No,
something else. I really
neither am
don't.
I. Knowing Gordon, this will be kind of something for left field somewhere. He'll not have chosen something that you and I, or he's done one of two things. He's given us something that we've actually had before,
Right.
and he's going, you gave it a right doing the last time you were on. Have another go at it. Maybe it's not as
Maybe
bad
it'll
as
be
you
better
think.
this time.
Or he's given us something that is completely left field. I don't think it's a West Coast malt,
No, no,
to
no,
be
no, no,
honest.
no,
No
no. Not
peatiness
at
in
all.
this at all. This
Not at all. No,
this
no,
is
no.
definitely either Speyside or Highland malt. I don't
Mhm.
think it's a Lowland malt. It's not got that. fragrant lightness that I would expect. So I'm going to go with something maybe Speyside. Do you know, it's not dissimilar from an old Pulteney that we had recently. Remember that harbour that we had? It's not quite as sea salty on the nose, seaweedy on the nose.
Well, I hope that's where the similarities end, because the harbour smelt nice, but when we tasted it, we thought it wasn't up to much.
Yeah.
So
that's very true. That's very true.
Right, we're going to taste this.
Definitely. Let's have a go at this. And
cheers.
I'd like to see here's to England this evening as they play against the Netherlands.
But,
just for all our English viewers that might be watching. and for all our Dutch viewers, good luck to you as well.
Good luck to you.
I'll just stay completely impartial. No offend anybody. Well, that's completely different, Clark.
That's lovely. That is really, really nice. I like that.
Oh.
I have no idea what I'm drinking. That is.
It's like I've had a mouthful of syrup. You know, like
absolutely is, aye.
Syrup and honey with a right.
You'd squeeze the peaches in it.
Aye, but also a nice gingery heat at the end of it. It's quite spicy.
On the end it is, aye. Well, that is very unusual. I've not had anything.
My mouth's full of sugar though, Clark. I feel like I've got a mouthful of I've had a mouthful of candy floss or something, and it's all dissolved on my tongue.
That's what you're saying, aye.
That's very pleasant.
Right. He's done well.
There's something there though, Clark, that I can't get my tongue around. There's something quite distinct about this. It's really oily. That's my first thing I think, is because I feel like as I'm mouthing it, it's quite oily and it's coating my tongue and it's leaving that syrupy sweetness that I'm getting.
Yep. I really like that. That is really nice.
I can't disagree with that. And the finish is just a wee bit.
There's a wee bit
light for me. It's not there overall for me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. There's I don't know what it is, but you put it in your mouth and let it sit for a while, and then take a breath over it, and you get a wave of something really, really nice. And I can't quite work out what it is.
Well, that's what I'm getting. I want to say it's like a bubble gum.
You want to say that?
Aye, like if you're chewing one of the big pink. I think it's like one of the big pink bubble gums, Clark. That's exactly what I think. I just wish you'd given us a wee bit more to try that again, because it's actually very nice.
It is, aye.
I wish I knew what that was. It's like a creme brulee type thing.
That's a broth. Excuse me.
Sugary sweet, Clark.
I have no idea. I haven't a clue what this is.
No, neither. I don't think it's a Speyside malt either.
I don't know. I have no idea.
I'm beginning to think, has he done one for somewhere abroad that, like I've got my friends done up here? Has he given me something for somewhere else in the world? Because I haven't tasted anything like that. It's a broad ram. I certainly, if again coming back to, if you were having this as a whiskey for the very first time, having never had whiskey before, that would be a fantastic introduction into it. It's a very easy drinking dram.
Well, it's getting scored exceptionally well by me because I think it's a brilliant dram.
Well, the only thing I think that lets it down a wee bit is the finish.
That's right. I agree with that.
Everything else I like about it. So,
well, that's getting a very good score.
well, I've scored at 81, Clark.
Well, I've rocketed past you there, Roy. I've rocketed past you. I'm putting a 9 on the end of that because I like that.
An 81.9.
No, an 89. No, that is a delightful dram. I really, really like that.
It is. When Gordon watches this back, because he's not live watching this just now, when Gordon watches this back, we'll say, "Well done, Gordi. That's a smashing dram."
We'll see that. Well done, Gordon. It's a smashing dram.
Yeah, it really is. So, shall we find out what's in the envelope?
Don't keep us in suspense anymore. I've got a feeling we're going to go, yeah, what?
We're either going to be really surprised. There's a piece of paper in it, and it doesn't look like it's a token for
a bottle.
For a bottle.
Well, that's a wee bit disappointment to me, but there you go.
Really?
Huh?
Right. This is a Ben Bracken.
Ben Bracken? Ben Bracken?
I have saw this many times in Lidl's where I've been in. Bottles of Ben Bracken and other stuff. It's a Ben Bracken Highland single malt. And it's the International Whisky Society's Gold Award. I don't know which year, but I can understand why that's won a Gold Award. I don't know whether it's 40%. I presume it is. I don't know if there's an age in the statement or not, because he's not written any of that information down for me. I will go back to him and get that information from him. But a Ben Bracken. No, I have seen them. I've seen them in Lidl's many times. And they're not that expensive a bottle. I think you get them for about 28 quid or something like that. So when it comes to value for money malt whiskies, hey, don't discount a Ben Bracken.
Certainly don't.
Highland single malt. That's a lovely.
That's a lovely dram. Absolutely gobsmacked. I have to. What a cracking dram.
I don't know. I don't know who produces it. But we know it's a Highland malt. So, well done, Gordi. Sending us a dram like that. I did say it might be a wee bit out of left field. I was beginning to think it was going to be a foreign import of some sort that I wasn't ready for. I certainly wasn't. I wasn't thinking it was going to be something like that from, for their range, a dresser malt whiskey that's there that goes into a bottle like that we have no idea what it is. But no, that was good. That was good.
Well, he's done well. He's done well.
He has. He has. I hope he challenges us more often. Hope he challenges us more often and sends us some more of these obscure drams that we've maybe not had before. Which I've certainly never had a Ben Bracken before.
Don't think I haven't.
And I will return the compliment by giving him some little samples of the ones that I have here. But I'm not telling him what they are. He'll get them all with question marks on the bottle, and he can happily sit and sook his way through them and find out what he likes at the end of it. And I'll have them all numbered, and I'll keep the numbers here on a spreadsheet for him. And when he goes through them, I'll give him the answers on a postcard. So when we get there. But no. So that's us for our little session tonight, Clark. Just a nice wee 15-minute, have a wee dram, have a chat. I'd happily open another one and go through another one at the moment, but well, I've not got anything that I can think of off the top of my head. Have you got anything that's there that we've not tried before? Is there anything in the room that you have beside you?
Absolutely. There's about 4 of them there that I've got from you.
Okay, let me just lean over to the side here. You sent me a Jura Pale Ale cask, but you gave me a Woodsman. Do you have a Woodsman in the room?
No, I need to go downstairs and get it.
Right. Well, don't do that. You don't need to go down the stairs. Let me have a wee reach forward. So I've also got the Kilcoman Loch Gruna, I think it is. If they're downstairs, we can do the pale ale cask on the Jura.
Well, what I've got here is I've got a Glencadam Reserve. I've got a Ben Romack Triple Distilled. I've got a Glengoyne 10. I've got an Edinburgh Castle 10.
Let's do the Glengoyne 10. Come on, let's do the Glengoyne 10.
I see you twisting my arm, huh?
Only because I've just so happened. It's well seen that I've taken a part-time job on with Ian MacLeod Distillers down at Rosebank, and our sister distillery is Glengoyne, and it's sitting here.
Great idea.
So let me just stick that over to the side, and I'll change the wee ticker tape at the bottom just now. I can change that over. We'll do this, and I'll just change that to. This is now the Glengoyne 10-year-old.
Which I haven't had before. Well, I've maybe tasted it at Glengoyne, but apart from that...
You probably have. I better like Bren Bracken at the top of that page that I just had there just now.
You better. You need to find out a few things about it so I can write something else on it as well.
Yes, I will do. I'll go to Gordon because I'll need to find out. I mean, I dare say there's more than one Ben Bracken 10-year-old that's received a gold award, to be honest with you. So I will go to him and get that information. And hopefully when he picks up what we've been saying here, he'll do that. So here we are.
Was it a 10-year-old, was it?
Yes. So I went and got myself a clean glass.
Well, I'm just taking the chance. It's a wee bit paler than the last one.
Yes. As the folks at Glengoyne would say, it's a liquid gold.
And I would
liquid sunshine. Sunshine in a glass. It's lovely.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
We know it's a 10-year-old. I'll just grab the information I want here because I've got it. Not only have I got that, I've got a full one.
Fantastic. Well, I'm glad to see that I'm not smelling polish from this one, but I'm smelling rubber instead.
Yeah. A bit of rubber.
We're back to blowing up the Lilo again on the camping trips.
All right. I understand what you mean by that. That nose, it's got a kind of again that furniture polish type nose to it.
Mm-hmm.
I get what you mean by that on it. This is interesting because when we do tours at Rosebank, it's Glengoyne and Tamdhu that we do on the two tours that I've been doing, and I only ever get to nose a Glengoyne. I never get to taste. We don't get to taste anything. I mean, that obviously company policy is no drinking on site, so I get the opportunity to nose it, and I get the opportunity to talk about it, but I don't really get the opportunity to partake in it. So this will be quite nice to actually taste it. Very light on the nose,
It's
and
very
again,
light.
it's got that slight vanilla, but there's a fruitiness to that as well. I quite like that. It's more of a apples, pears, that green fruits type nose to it. I like that. Again, I'm going to be completely impartial here, just for the purposes of the tasting body. It would be wrong of me. I don't want people thinking that I'm favouring the company rather than doing a professional job here, and as we do in the tasting bothy, and treating everybody fairly. It's quite light. I like that. It's nice.
It's quite. It smells quite sugary to me. It smells kind of brown sugary as well. It's nice. I like that.
Okay. Challange, mate. We'll have a wee dram. Do you know what Glengoyne means?
No. Well, maybe I do, but I've forgotten.
It's the Valley of the Geese. It means the Valley of the Geese.
Valley of the Geese.
Yes.
I don't know if I knew that or not. If they told me at Glengoyne, then I must know it. But
I presume they did. I have not been on a Glengoyne tour yet, so that's something that I hope to resolve in the next couple of months or so.
Nice tour, I think. From what I remember.
Anyway,
cheers. Let's try this.
Oh, I find that quite similar to the first one. It's not as sweet as the first one, but it certainly coats the tongue. The thing I notice on this more than anything else, not so much on my palate, is after I finish it, that lovely warmth just sitting here in the back of my throat and into my mouth, that spiciness is there. Not burning into my chest, but I've got a lovely long finish that's sitting with that at the end.
I feel like I've just finished eating a big handful of grapes. That's kind of the taste I've got in my mouth just now. I've just finished a big handful of nice grapes. And the taste that's still sitting on my tongue. That's nice. I like that.
It is. It's lovely. It's again, as an introductory dram for somebody who's never had a dram before, hey, can't go wrong with the Glengoyne 10.
Yeah, good.
Well, I like that.
That's a bra dram.
It's not got as long a finish as perhaps the last one had.
Maybe taste of salt in there as well.
There is a little saltiness to that, Clark, but it's like a salted caramel type finish to it. It's quite sweet with that salt. It's not bitter saltiness that's there.
No,
it's a sweet saltiness. And I don't know if that's coming for the cask, that bourbon cask that we've got, that vanilla that's coming from the cask.
It's strange to be salty though, because we're nowhere near the sea in Glengoyne, you know.
No, that's very true. Very true. But it just depends again on the wood in the cask. I mean, different woods interact differently with different styles of malt whiskies. So, you know, if it's gone into the cask the way it has, whatever that cask, I mean, obviously, if it's been first fill bourbon that's been in the cask before, then it might be something that's influencing it from there. We would expect that vanilla to come out of that American oak that you've got in the cask that they have. So that's going to give it that vanilla flavour. But I do agree, I'm finding it quite salty, you know, and on the finish.
Surprisingly so. I don't remember it tasting salty when I tasted it before, but it's nice.
Well, that'll depend on whether you got a 10-year-old when you're at Glengoyne or if you got a 12 and 15-year-old at Glengoyne. I don't know what's on the tour, so that would be something that, again,
I don't remember. What is it? What's the one they give you at Rosebank? Is it 10 or 12? It's a 12.
it's 12-year-old Glengoyne, yeah. It's a 12-year-old Glengoyne, a 12-year-old Tamdhu that you get on it, and you get the new Make Spirit on the Reawakening tour, and then you get your Rekindled tour, which gives you the which is £90, which gives you the 15-year-old Glengoyne, 15-year-old Tamdhu, and you get a Rosebank along with that as well. So that one's £90. So you've got a £25, £90 one, and then you've got the Revered tour that's at £300. But that's all Rosebanks, and that's your 30-year-olds that you're going to be having within that. So yeah. But no, I think I like this. I'm now getting a nice honey finish in my mouth. Although I've got that saltiness, I've got that honey meaty type finish. Now that it's been just, I've been allowing it to sit in my palate for that wee while longer. So I've given my score on this, Clark, as well. So.
Well, I haven't done that yet, so I'll do it just now.
I preferred it to the last one.
You prefer this to the last one?
I prefer this to the last one, mate. Because I gave the last one an 81, but I've actually preferred this to the last one. And you're going to find that very difficult because you gave your last one an 89. This will need to be absolutely exceptional for you.
And it's a nice dram.
Yep.
It's not absolutely exceptional, right? It is a nice dram.
I wonder how we'd have scored it. This one here fits my palate better. I thought the last one was just maybe a wee bit too sweet for me. This one's not as sweet as the previous one was. It's the kind of dram that I like. This kind of dram.
Can't disagree with that, right? Okay, well, I've given it a 22 all the way, so it's coming at an 86, which is a very good score. But
yeah, and I've given it an 83.
There you go. I'm not giving it it's not getting the wow factor the last one gave me. Strangely enough, the last one I think,
that's because we didn't know what it was.
Well, that's right.
It was a surprise of not knowing. I wonder if that influences the way that we, that could be a something that we look at in the future. I might give you more whiskey that I didn't tell you anything about it, and vice versa. And that, because I wonder if that does influence. I couldn't see you arguing with me on that one, to be perfectly honest with you. That's okay. You give them to me. Give me as many as you want. Don't tell me what they are. I'll drink them all.
That's not a problem.
It's a splendid idea.
If you're needing a guinea pig, I'll just squeak away here.
Yeah. So, for me, the first one was just too sweet for me. And the other part on it, and again, this might just be because I didn't know what it was either. There was the oiliness, that coating in my tongue. I'm not sure I liked that as much. I felt like it was just coating my mouth, whereas this doesn't coat my mouth in the same way. It's what I like. But you know me, I actually prefer something with a wee bit of peaty smoke in it. So that whole part of having that peaty smokiness, I like. That's probably why I like the Ben Romac as much as I do, because I get the Speyside malt whiskey, but I get it with just a wee bit of smoke in it.
Mm.
I really am quite excited about trying this French one. If it's anywhere, well, I went to Monsieur Balloway's again when I was over, and it was great to meet him again because it's not very often I go in John Balloway's Inn, and so being able to talk to the owner of the business all about the history and everything was fantastic, and it's a world of a difference from the tour that you get in Scotland around distilleries. And the funny thing he said to me was, I should be charging you for this. He says, every time I come to Scotland, I get charged to go on a distillery tour. So I made a deal with him. I said, if you ever come to Scotland and you want to go to Rosebank, I will pay for your tour. You will not have to pay for it because I haven't had to pay to visit yours. I just hope he doesn't choose the Revere tour because that would cost me a fortune anyway. But the whole part of it is that we had a long chat, and there were things. I mean, it takes you through that distillery, and there are, you're walking past all these casks of brandy, 20, 40 years old, some, and it's just, the place is absolutely filthy inside because it's a 200-year-old working distillery. There's cobwebs everywhere. The place is black inside for the angel share that's escaped left, right, and centre. You then go through into the area where the grapes get brought in, and there's no guard on the chain. I mean, you could get drawn and pulled into that. If you fell in there, you'd be dead, And then it takes you through to the still area, and you've got this still that it basically has. I don't know if you've ever seen these guys when they're doing the roof on a hut or a shed or something, and they're using one of these blowtorch things, to warm. Well, it basically sticks one of them in underneath the still, and that's where this gets heated up, and it goes in through the distillation, double distillation across there. So it goes through the first time, and when it comes through, the first time it comes through the distillation process, it comes through around about 10 or 12%, whereas at Rosebank, or most folks, when it goes through the distillation process, it will come through on the low wine side about 21%. And then the next time it goes through, it comes through at somewhere in the region about 60% and that's when they start to, try and look at how they reduce it. They've got no spirit safe where they're cutting off the volatile. They do cut off the heads and tails as we do in Scotland with whiskey. So he will do that. There was no spirit safe that I could see where he did that. I don't know how he manages to measure that, and when he decides to cut the high wines, and then where he does the cut to get the heart out of this stuff. That it was here. But the funniest thing was there's this old barrel, Clark, massive barrel, and it's got brass, all round it. So you've got the barrel. It's been made exactly the same way as you would make a whiskey barrel in Scotland, and all the metal cleats that go around it, these are all brass, and there's a lovely brass, the hole in the top, it's got a lovely brass insert with a screw top into it. And he says to me, would you like to smell it? And of course, I said, oh, of course. So he says to me, on you go. So I unscrews the top of the barrel and I lifts the top off and I put my nose over it. Now, while I'm doing this, I can't see what he's doing. There's another hole at the other end I never noticed. It's got a wee bung in it. And he lifts the wee bung, and just as I go, he goes, and he blows down the hole. This thing, honestly, my nose was on fire. I had a headache. I felt like somebody had hit me with a baseball bat. And I was like, oh, the eyes were streaming. And that, it was so funny. And he's holding his sides, laughing at me, and tears are running down my face with this stuff. Obviously, the barrel's completely empty. That's just the vapours that's sitting in it. But oh boy, and that was probably, it was a highlight, and that wasn't a highlight of my holiday, obviously, but it was a highlight of my visit. Just going in there and that little bit of humour that was added to that, and watching Jean Balloway laughing away there. He's 80 odd years old and he's killing himself laughing. And he must do that every day to everybody that comes in. There's always somebody who's going to go, oh, yes, I'd like to have a smell of that. Stick your nose in there. And then the next thing it's like. So, that whole set, I've got some fantastic photographs. I'll send them over to you at some point. You'll have a good laugh at what it is. If only you and I could go and do a visit to Balloway's, that honestly, that would be so much worthwhile. I wish we'd done it when we were over with a band all these years ago when we went over to Laurie's, but we'll maybe get an opportunity to do it at some point in the future with our good lady wives. We'll maybe arrange a caravan trip out that way.
A caravan trip? A caravan trip? I'm telling you, how to take the caravan to this. She would have taken the caravan to Cornwall. I've never been to middle of France.
You're not going as far as Cornwall. You're only going as far as Southampton, and then it's taking you over, and then once you're over, you're only doing the same distance as you would be if you were going to Cornwall.
Aye, let's see, try to persuade her of that.
Yes, I think I would have an easier job persuading Jennifer than you will have.
Oh, absolutely.
To go. Anyway, I shall love you and leave you this evening. We'll thank all those wonderful people. We'll thank Gordi for his Ben Bracken, which was completely left field for us, but introduced us to a very, very nice dram. I might have a wee look in Lidl's the next time I'm in to see if they've got their Ben Bracken Gold Award in there. That might be worthwhile. You have a lovely holiday whenever you go. I know that you're going away soon sometime, so have a great time away. See if you can. I'm going to give you a challenge because while I was away, the challenge that Cliff gave me was to find a malt whisky from the region that I was in. Cliff has just messaged me as we're sitting here. I've just seen it pop up on my Instagram. He has got a whisky from the region of France he is in.
All right.
So my challenge, in fact, probably Cliff and I's challenge to you is, wherever you find one, if you can get a nice single malt whisky from wherever you are, and because I know that you're on a cruise, so you could end up in any part of the world. If you can find a malt whisky,
I hope I didn't end up in any part of the world.
Well, that's very true. That means that the captain got lost. Aye, he knows where he's going, and you know where you're going. I know where you're going, but wait. So I didn't want to mention any of that. But once you get away there and you're out on your wee trip, see if you can find a dram for somewhere. And what we'll do is, the three of us then will have a tasting that night. We'll draw the drams round and we'll see which country comes out with the best dram.
Right. See what I can do.
That's my challenge to you, Clark.
I'll see what I can do.
Right. We'll say goodbye to our folks just now, and I'll end my live stream. If I can find my mouse. I've got a mouse somewhere. Here I am. So thanks very much, folks, for joining us. We hope you've had a great evening. We hope those who pick up this stream later on, when they jump onto our YouTube channel and find us there, have as much as of an entertaining evening as Clark and I has. And Clark will not be going off to watch the football. I might get an opportunity to watch the football, but may the best team win this evening. We'll all catch up soon. Bye just now.
Bye just now.